Why African elders feared the night more than death. African elders feared many things, but there was one thing they feared more than death itself: the night. Not because of darkness, but because the night listens. And tonight I'll explain why elders warned children, lovers, and even kings to be careful after sunset. Some of these warnings were never written. Some were whispered, and some were obeyed without question. In many African traditions, night was not the absence of life. It was the activation of another world. Day was for human activity, night was for spiritual movement. Silence wasn't peace, it was space. Elders believed the night belonged to forces that do not compete with humans, because they existed before us. This is why elders never whistled at night. If you called someone and they answered, but no one was there, elders said never respond again. Water attracts attention. At night, it attracts the wrong kind. Joy at night was believed to invite curiosity. Elders said wealth spoken at night can be followed, but the most forbidden action wasn't any of these. Midnight was not just a time. It was a doorway, a spiritual transition hour where the boundary between worlds thinned. Even elders avoided making decisions at midnight. Some villages rang bells before midnight, not to warn people, but to warn something else. There was a family that ignored the warnings. A young man walked at night, heard a familiar voice, and responded. He returned changed, quiet, distant, unlucky. Elders said the night didn't harm him. It simply took what he offered: attention. This wasn't fear, it was respect. Night as balance, silence as wisdom, stillness as protection. Elders didn't run from the night, they listened to it. And this is why elders slept early, and not from weakness, but from knowledge. Why elders lowered their voices at night. If you ever noticed elders lowering their voices after sunset, it wasn't because they were tired. Night was believed to carry sound farther. Words spoken at night were believed to travel differently. Some words were said to stick. Elders believed words spoken loudly at night could be overheard. Not by humans, but by listeners that don't interrupt. This is why serious conversations were postponed until morning. Elders did not treat all dreams the same. Dreams before dawn held heavier meaning. Afternoon dreams were ignored. Repeated night dreams were warnings. A dream that comes once may be imagination. A dream that returns is instruction. Some dreams were never shared because speaking them was believed to speed them up. Elders never called children back inside at night. Children were seen as spiritually open. Calling their name at night was believed to confuse them. Elders used sounds, not names. That's why you heard clapping, humming, or gentle knocks, never shouting names. Elders believed names carried direction. Not everything that moved at night was dangerous. There were ancestors, protectors, and messengers. Elders believed fear only attracted what deserved it. This is why some elders sat outside at night calmly. Strangely, some stories were forbidden during the day. Certain truths required stillness. Night reduced ego. Children listened better. Elders believed the night made people honest. But one type of story was never told at night, no matter how important. There was a warning elders started, but rarely finished. They'd say, if you hear, if you feel, if you sense. Elders stopped mid-sentence, not because they forgot, but because finishing it was believed to activate something. Why elders never answered questions immediately. If you ever asked an elder a serious question, and they stayed silent, that silence was the answer. Elders believed that answers given too quickly lost their power. Some questions were meant to age before being answered. Elders believed certain questions bent reality just by being spoken. One question was believed to shorten the asker's life. Sometimes elders knew the answer and chose ignorance. An elder once said, "If I tell you, it becomes my burden too." This is why wisdom was never forced. Elders didn't want obedience. They wanted realization. A proverb once saved a village because no one understood it at first. There was a time elders stopped teaching publicly. From that day, wisdom went underground. Only those who listened quietly learned anything. Elders believed behavior was a louder question than speech. One mistake revealed everything an elder needed to know. Not all knowledge was meant to survive. Elders believed forgetting was sometimes mercy. This is why gaps exist in history. Elders were comfortable being misunderstood. They knew clarity would arrive, eventually. There was one truth elders shared with no one: They believed some truths only reveal themselves when words stop. Elders were never afraid of not knowing. They were afraid of knowing too fast. Speed was seen as disrespect. Rushed knowledge was misused knowledge because wisdom required time to settle. That's why elders often delayed their answers, sometimes for seasons. There was a young man who demanded truth immediately and lost his patience in the silence. Elders believed speed attracted mistakes. Elders noticed something strange about wisdom. It never came to those who hunted it aggressively. The ones who demanded answers, the ones who rushed from elder to elder, the ones who wanted certainty immediately, they learned the least. Elders believed wisdom was attracted to stillness. That's why they told people, live first, ask later. Because experience prepares the mind in ways questions cannot. They believed answers arrived naturally when life created the right space for them. That's why many elders smiled when asked difficult questions. They knew the answer would come, just not from them. Elders trusted life to finish the lesson. Elders were comfortable being misunderstood. They knew wisdom often sounds foolish before it makes sense. They were mocked, ignored, called old-fashioned, and they accepted it quietly. Because elders believed truth matures with time. What sounded strange at 20 felt obvious at 40. So elders did not argue, they waited. They believed the right understanding would arrive, even if it arrived late. And they believed those who were meant to understand eventually would. Elders trusted time more than explanation. There was one boundary elders never crossed. They never tried to control another person's path. They guided, they warned, they observed, but they did not interfere beyond a point. Because elders believed destiny was personal. Too much interference created resentment. Too little created danger. So they balanced. They said what needed to be said and left the rest to life. They believed wisdom forced was wisdom wasted. And this is why many elders spoke their last advice calmly, without urgency. They had already done their part. This is why elders spoke slowly, why they answered carefully, why they chose silence more often than speech. They understood something modern life has forgotten. Not all knowledge is meant to be immediate. Not all truth is meant to be loud. And not all wisdom is meant to be chased. Some understanding arrives only when you're ready to carry it. If you've listened this far, then something in this story stayed with you. And that means this wisdom wasn't meant to pass you by. If you value deep stories, ancestral insight, and the kind of knowledge that reveals itself slowly, subscribe to The Hidden Voice and share this with someone who knows how to listen. Some wisdom survives only when it is passed on.